There's like an optical illusion going on right now where it looks like we're angled because the line's behind me, but the camera's telling me we're level. Alright, we'll go ahead with that anyway. Hello everyone, it's Bethany from Bethany and Garrett, and welcome back to this little corner of the internet where we talk about good books, recycled looks, and everything in between. Today, I'm really excited to sit down and just chat with you guys and film a little Q&A whilst also selecting my new TBR. I've got my little read me basket here, which is completely empty, as you can tell. Why did I tip it upside down? You can see through it anyway. And we need to fill this little bad boy up. I have not read anything all month, and it is now the 21st of February. We're almost at the end, so we're just gonna let myself choose what I'm interested in, whilst also answering some of the questions you guys left me over on my Instagram stories, bethany.andgarrett. Before I continue with the video, please consider leaving a cheeky like and subscribe down below if you want to see more bookish and thrifted content as I move on and evolve with this channel. So I've got my laptop here. Let's find the first question. First question I have here is 2021 goals. I'm assuming you mean by that, like, do I have any 2021 goals? I'll leave the link to my reading ones up there, but I also just want to really let this be the year where I don't succumb to fear of judgment from any other people. I'm just working on myself, and so far I think I'm getting better at that, considering I've decided to change the frequency that my channel is kind of on, change the vibration of the content a little bit, and starting to open up to you guys a little bit more. Right, first book on my TBR, I should mention, I guess, what I'm currently reading, and that is Law. Our bookmark is a napkin at page 33. So I lied, I have read 33 pages of this. This follows our main character. I'm just trying to remember her name. I read those 33 pages a while ago. Her name is actually Law, and essentially it's like the Hunger Games meets Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, in that every 7 years I think some gods are sent back to Earth, and the Earthlings, the humans, can kill them to get god powers. I am enjoying it, even though I've stopped reading it for quite a while. I think it's a really unique premise, and also the cover is gorgeous. I'll throw up the TikTok I did, the Instagram story I did, inspired by this outfit. Question 2, do I still read fantasy? Yes, I do. I guess Law that I just showed you counts as fantasy. Not as much like YA fantasy as I used to, though, just because I found that as I am reading more and more, especially last year, YA fantasy started to feel really repetitive, and I hate that it started to feel repetitive, and as a result it meant that whenever I would read up a book it was no longer intriguing, because you know, you just have so much experience with that genre that you start to be able to predict what's going to happen, and nothing really comes as a fun surprise anymore. Do let me know in the comments though if you guys have any good YA fantasy recommendations that are just a little bit different from the classic Blur and Blur kind of titles. Yeah. Next question before I move on to finding another book. Are you still going to share bookish content on Insta? This is a really good question, and the answer is yes. If you aren't aware, if you don't follow my Instagram page, I used to only post pictures of books and either synopsises or reviews, and I just wanted to diversify. I think I've talked about this in one of my vlogs. I just have decided this year to change my content up a little bit. So although there's like my outfitty pics, my daily pics, I want to kind of do a Regan from Peru's Project, look at her gorgeous Instagram feed, where she kind of has her life pictures but also takes photos of books. And I've started to do that, and as I read more, I'll be able to talk about those books a lot more too. I don't want to be somebody who posts about books who hasn't actually read them yet. I don't want to vocalize and give voice to books that I haven't read in case they're problematic or they're just simply not very good. So yes, Bookish content is going to keep coming on my Instagram, just woven in a little bit differently. Hang on, let's put her up here. Okay, so this is like my classic bookshelf, but there are books on this. If I just move some books on here that I haven't read yet either. What book do I want? I want to feel successful with this TBR. I want to actually read it and be able to do a wrap up and be like, I managed to read my TBR. So I think I'm actually going to start with a Dragon Ball volume. So this is actually my partner's collection. I bought him it for his birthday, or was it Christmas? No, I'm pretty sure it was his birthday. So this is volume 1, and I've heard a lot about this world and story, and I know a lot of the storyline because my partner loves it and watches it, and so, you know, I've subliminally soaked up the storyline and who the characters are. I won't go into it too much. Just Goku is Super Saiyan and he lands on Earth and grows up from there, and we follow him. I think that's how it starts. I'm gonna read it and find out. What other questions do you guys have for me? Would you rather only read new books or only reread books? I can hear cicadas. If you guys can hear cicadas, I'm sorry. It is the height of summer here in New Zealand. Just, wrong way. The blue sky. Oh, it's so nice. But yeah, that means we also have cicadas. My answer has to be, there we go. I would only read new books because I'm not much of a rereader, and if I'm being completely honest, all of these books behind me that I have read, I've been looking at them recently and thinking, am I actually going to reread them? There's some on there that I would definitely keep. Some that I would definitely keep, especially my top ones where it's book series. But I don't know, I've been thinking of like literally unhoarding and selling so many of them, or just donating them, because I think I only have them because of like photos and the idea that you need to have books to be a reader, which I often repeat that you don't need to own the books to be a reader. But yeah, I would only read new books because I like experiencing new stories. Yeah. Speaking of books, let's choose a new book. I'm going to take you with me, or let's lock this onto my face for a second, and take you over to my TBR shelf. One of my reading goals was to read the books I own. So, alright, so here we are. I think I'm going to go with the theme of like smaller books, again, just so I can feel success. So I'm vibing this one from D.A. Butcher, The Eyes of Sleeping Children. This was sent to me as an ARC, and it has the most gorgeous little note from the author. And I've been meaning to pick this one up for quite a while, and now I am getting to it. It's about an ecological disaster, a missing child, and a man, who would kill for his family. This book cover just gives me so much life. I don't know what it is about it, but I just love it. So yes, this can be book number 3. I'll go add it to my basket. I just checked the next question from you guys as well. The question is, how's lockdown going? So in New Zealand, if you didn't know, I'm living in New Zealand. We had lockdown last year in 2020 for I think 6 or 8 weeks at the beginning of the year. It was like very much April, May-esque, and honestly, Jacinda Ardern, but also the people of New Zealand have been really good at working as a team to make sure that COVID-19 doesn't run rampant in our country. So after that initial lockdown, which we came out of early mid last year, we've not had to go back into a serious stay-at-home one. As far as I'm aware, as I'm filming this, we are currently nationwide in level 1, which just means we can go out, but make sure you keep your distance, all of that stuff. Auckland, I don't know if they've come out of it, but there were 2 community cases, so they went into level 2 lockdown for 3 days. I'll be honest, I'm not too sure how that's gone, but for personally, I've not been in lockdown for almost a year now, so thank you people of New Zealand for just being responsible. Yeah, New Zealand has been good. Next book. I should pick another one off here, shouldn't I? You know what? I'm going to read this purely because of Hank Green. If you don't know, Hank Green is the brother of John Green, who you've probably heard of, who wrote like Turtles All the Way Down. What's his real famous one? The Fault in Our Stars. So Hank Green is the brother of him, and I follow Hank on TikTok, and I think he's the best. I think he's so hilarious, but also educational. And so I found this book a wee while ago at Warehouse, and I'm going to read it. It sounds like a sci-fi YA novel that also comments on virality in the digital age. So our main character, April May, discovers like a statue or a structure or something, and then she posts about it and she becomes famous, viral, and from there, like, we just follow her life as she realizes what it really means. April now has to deal with the consequences of her particular brand of fame as it affects her relationships, safety and identity. But 100% just picked this up because Hank Green wrote it. Let's go back over to the other side. Oh, beautiful. Oh, rocking chair. Yeah. Alright, here's another question. What made me start this channel? If I'm being honest, I think it's to do with the fact that when I was little, I was really into documenting things, and I've had like a journal, a diary for so many years, and I had tried 2-3 times to start a digital blog. One that was just like me being like a 14-year-old teenager. One that was just like chatting about daily life stuff as I was a bit older. And then before I started this channel, I did start like a book blog where I posted my reviews. But I quickly realised that the community, whilst present in the book blogging sphere, wasn't as prevalent as it is in the YouTube, booktube sphere. And I've always loved creating, and I've always had a fascination with social media and how it brings people together. And so I think YouTube does all of that really well. It's a real community feel, especially when I'm talking to you guys down in the comments. I'm definitely not doing this as like a plan for it to be my career or for the clout or anything like that. It's purely just a fun, creative way for me to connect with other people and talk about my passions. Yeah. All right, what book are we up to? For book number 5, I know what I want. I want to start reading The Help. I had some really good feedback on my last decade's video, which was I read the top 5 books between 2010s and 2020s. So I've decided I'll go back and do the 2000s to 2010s, and The Help is on there. You might know the book, you might also know the film. Personally, I studied the film when I was at high school as a 16, 17-year-old, and the movie's really stuck in my head, and I'm excited to just read it. It's a split perspective novel set in the 1960s Mississippi, and we have Skeeter, who's our, how else to label her, our white character who doesn't like the racism that she's seeing, and then also follows a bunch of African-American black housemaids, and it's a narration about how the housemaids are treated, racism in the 60s, and yeah, I'm really excited to see if the book's any different to the film or if it's similar or what. What's our time like? Okay, let's keep going. Oh, let's answer this one. What are you changing up your content? I feel like that might be why. Why are you changing up your content? Kind of miss the book stuff. I can understand this, especially if this was written from someone who predominantly follows me over on Insta, because I've changed things up there whilst it's still very bookish on this account. Why is because I didn't like the fact that I had boxed myself into having only one passion, only one kind of personality trait, and I really wanted to, as I said before, the reason why I started this is I want to talk about my passions, and I think recycled fashion is really important. I might delve into it in future stages and future videos, but I really want to help raise awareness for how destructive fast fashion can be. But also fashion is a huge part of me. I work, this was another job, I'm a high school teacher, by the way. I teach English, this is my 3rd year teaching. I work Monday to Friday and I need to be dressed professionally, but I love that within that realm I can present who I am, like, under that umbrella. And I just think self-expression is so important that I just want to really create a unique niche where we can explore self-expression and books in the same breath. And that's what I hope to do. And I guess this feeds into the next question that I may as well answer now. Love that you're being you. Thank you, Illy. What kind of content can we expect? Okay, so I've got some ideas. One of them being kind of taking my book love and my fashion love and merging them together. Yes, there'll still be like Will Chooses My TBR videos and just vlogs in which I'll be talking about the books I'm reading live, and I'll probably show you like an outfit of the day kind of stuff, but more like really unique niche stuff. For example, I've seen lots of fashion videos. I know Steal the Spotlight does them really well, where she takes inspiration from a TV show and makes like a lookbook from there. I want to see if I can do the same thing with books. I want to see if I could take, say, I don't know, let's say Catching Fire, and maybe make an outfit for every, what do you call them, region, area. I think that'd be such a fun idea. So I could really merge those passions, maybe doing a weekly lookbook where each day I take inspiration from the cover of a book on my TBR basket. Maybe it's maybe it is a little bit embodying a character themselves, being Hermione for a week. I think you can probably tell from me chatting about this how excited I am to start creating this sort of stuff. Yes, probably time for another book. You know what I always love whenever I pick it up? The Witcher series. I've read 0.5 and 0.7. I think I'm going to read number 1. Come on. That one. I have been really loving these books whenever I read them, and now we're at book 1 where Geralt and everyone is kind of, I feel like we're about to hit the main part of the story, so actually let's read the blurb. Yeah, I'm really excited because it sounds like Geralt and Ciri have more of a connection going forwards, as Ciri has some powers that people want to kill her for. I don't want to say too much because the first season on Netflix and the first 2 books are really good, and if I go into too much about this then it will spoil it for those. But just know, if you loved the first season of The Witcher Online, 0.5 and 0.7 are the books that season's content is sourced from. Another question they have said, I've noticed an accent, where are you from? Yep, so I was born in the East Riding of Yorkshire, my brother's home. And so when I was 9, my family moved over here, so I have been here for 13 to 15 years. I want to choose, how many books do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I've started 1. So I think 2 more books. I'm looking at my brother. 2 more books, Reese?
Yes.
Okay, good.
At least.
At least, you reckon? I feel like for my second to last book, I should dip into one of my classic books. You know what, actually, scrap the classics. I want to reread Narnia. This is the first 3 books in the collection. I'm only going to read book 1 in terms of this TBR, but I've been meaning to reread the Chronicles of Narnia for so long, especially after I learned that C.S. Lewis was quite a devout Christian, and he put so many subliminal Christianity symbols and motifs within this. Just think like Aslan was God and created the world and stuff like that, which I never picked up on as a kid, so I really want to reread the entire series and see how much I do pick up on. Thank you for the Coke, brother. Oh yeah. Okay, 2 more questions I'll whiz through, and 1 more book I'll choose. So the second to last question is, what book feels like home to you, like it was written with you in mind? I feel like you're already able to predict my answer to this. It has to be, I'm not going to get it out because it's at the bottom of the pile, but The Starless Sea. I even have a Bookish tattoo inspired by it. That book not necessarily makes me feel like I'm home, as in where my parents and family are. It makes me feel home within the world of reading. Like I just love its atmosphere. And then the second question, let me bring it up, is I've mentioned a partner before, and you've actually seen him a little bit in the background of some vlogs. Can we know more about him? No, like he's his own person. I guess what I can tell you is that we met when we were at high school. We were both 15, and he supports my reading, supports my channel. He just doesn't want to be in front of you guys. He might get braver though, as I keep subliminally asking him like, hey babe, do you want to help me with things? For example, I'd love it if we did like a boyfriend chooses my TBR kind of video. Let me know if you think that's a good idea. But respectfully, maybe he doesn't have to be in shot. But yeah, that's him. So this May is our 9-year anniversary, and he is, how much more do I go into it? If he wants to talk to you guys, he'll talk to you guys. I don't like the idea of sharing information about someone who doesn't want to be shared. And that's fine. I respect his space, and I'm sure you guys will respect that too. Last book. We've got fantasy, Dragon Ball, so manga. We've got sci-fi. We've got like little horror. We've got fantasy and fantasy. And I think I'm going to finish off with another like short book, just because I'm liking this vibe. I'm excited. I'm feeling positive that I can get through these. All right, we're going to go with Veronica Roth, The End and Other Beginnings. This has to be one of the oldest books I have that I haven't read. I love Veronica Roth writing. Although I don't own any of her books, her other release, The Chosen Ones, was a favourite of the month when I read it. I really enjoyed how it turned the tropes on its head, and essentially this one sounds like Veronica Roth kind of merges with Sheena McGuire in terms of every story sounds like there's a different world that we get to experience, so that is exciting. Right, I have been rambling on for half an hour. Hopefully I have managed to shorten this for you guys, otherwise I've hoped you'd enjoyed it. Again, please consider leaving a cheeky like and subscribe down below if you want to get the notifications and get ready for some new fun content. I'm hoping the next video you see will be one of those fashion book mergy kind of ones. Other than that, guys, I will bring my reel down and spin for you guys for your next reel. Wait, wow, words. I will get the reel down and spin for you guys for your next TBR prompt. Other than that, enjoy all the places you go in your own reading adventures and life, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Spinning the wheel for my beautiful subscribers.
100 books, so it would have to be something off of my poster. Bam, bam, bam. A thriller or horror book. Alright, have fun guys. Bye.